Joining the CCP is actually incredibly difficult, even for Chinese citizens themselves. The entire process can take up to 3 years, but the benefits of being a party member make it worthwhile to those who join. Now, it's probably not much of a surprise, but in order to join the Chinese Communist Party, you must first be Chinese. For those who aren't Chinese, possessing legal citizenship of the People's Republic of China is enough for the CCP to consider you as a Chinese. And this can be done through a number of ways. For example, those who marry into Chinese families or those who've settled in China for a number of years are eligible for Chinese citizenship. There have been foreigners in the past who've obtained CCP membership through this path. Additionally, you should meet the age requirements, which are typically around 18 to 35 years old. You must also meet educational and ideological criteria, which often require a good understanding of Marxist-Leninist ideology and socialism with Chinese characteristics. You should also have a clean political record and no history of criminal activity or opposition to the CCP. All good? Alright, let's go to step 2. Now, in order to be considered as an applicant, you must state your interest in joining the party to a current active party member or an appropriate local party representative, who will then work on your application and officially enroll you into the process. This could be done through recommendations from within the party or through a personal application. The CCP will then conduct background checks on your personal, political, and educational history. Basically, at this stage, the party wants to see whether you have the potential to be molded into their ideal of a Chinese communist. This stage is actually where the majority of applicants are disqualified, as it is quite difficult to meet the criteria. You see, party recruiters look for a very specific kind of person who is intelligent enough to uphold the party line, but politically ignorant enough to not challenge the already existing party establishment. Additionally, you may be required to attend interviews and assessments where party officials will evaluate your commitment to the CCP's principles and your suitability for membership. Basically, if you have a record of criticizing or opposing the CCP in any way, it's going to be held against you. We don't want to have a filthy capitalist pig within our ranks, do we? Of course, as with all things related to the CCP, this process is made easier for some through corruption and nepotism. Congratulations! Now that you've passed the initial evaluation stage, you will enter what is called the probationary period. During this time, you are expected to demonstrate your loyalty to the party and contribute to its activities. These mostly consist of public ceremonies such as military parades or rallies where the party needs to make it look like tons of people are in attendance, voluntarily. That's right, all of these people are party applicants. Sometimes you may also be asked to attend discussion sessions where an instructor leads a discussion on the party's political doctrine. Tons of fun. Alright, now that the party has seen your commitment to socialism with Chinese characteristics, it's time to get serious about your application. At this stage, you may be required to attend a party school for ideological training. These are pretty much the same discussion sessions that you'd have had during the probationary period, but far more in-depth, and also with exams. Yes, that's right, the CCP has entrance exams, and they're actually quite hard. The content that you are tested on isn't difficult per se, but the sheer number of applicants make it so that you need an almost perfect score to pass. It's kind of like a ranked competition kind of thing. Now, even after putting in the hard work during the probationary period and party school, your application may still be rejected. Ultimately, everything comes down to a party vote, where the representatives at your local party branch gather to vote on your admittance to the CCP. It's like a college admissions board, but for an authoritarian, totalitarian dictatorship. A high level of support is usually required for your application to be accepted. However, if you pass this final stage, you're then formally and officially made a member of the Chinese Communist Party. Lucky you! It's important to note that the CCP's membership is highly controlled, and not everyone who expresses an interest in joining will be accepted. The party's primary mission is to maintain its ideology and power in China. But now that you've made it to the team, what can you expect from your CCP membership? Look, ultimately it all comes down to nepotism and corruption. When you join the Communist Party, really you are joining the ruling class of China. Even though you may be a minor member of the party, this still gives you a serious advantage over those who are not. This advantage mainly comes from the connections you make with other more senior party members. For example, let's say that you are running a small yet ambitious startup and you, the CEO, are a member of the Communist Party. Well, if you've made the right connections within the party, you could pull some strings and in turn get the government to give your platform a little push. A little competitive edge over your competitors, if you will. They might, for example, make it easier for you to get a vital loan, or they may even subsidize you directly. Your CCP membership is a tool that can be used to get the government's attention. If you're smart enough or cunning enough, you can work with this to get to places in China that the majority of the population would never be able to get to. Another way to look at it is that the CCP is a sort of mafia that is only ever interested in preserving and expanding its own power, and by joining this exclusive club, you may be able to get a share of that. Of course, there are cons of being a CCP member as well. For example, it's not exactly an admirable thing to be a party member in Chinese society. People will become less trustful of you and more careful of how they behave in your presence. Friends and family may begin to distance themselves from you. On the other hand, the culture within the party itself is highly corrupt. Chances are that if you don't have any blood relation with members or weren't already friends with them to begin with, you won't be able to network effectively. This is because nobody within the party truly trusts one another. It is a highly competitive, cutthroat environment in which people consistently backstab each other to gain more personal power. It's a sort of communist Game of Thrones. The higher you are in the party ranks, the more intense this becomes. Then there are also political limitations as well. The CCP does not tolerate opposing political views from Chinese citizens, but this is taken to the extreme regarding its own members. Party unity is very important, and any member who is deemed as a threat to this will not have a fun time. You must be extra careful on what you say and who you say it to. Otherwise, the life that you have worked decades to build for yourself in the party may come crashing down with just one wrong sentence to the wrong people at the wrong time. You may also have problems with traveling outside of China. In some cases, it may be extremely difficult to be able to immigrate out of the country or do business abroad as a member of the CCP. For example, one of the very first questions that are asked on any US immigration application is whether you have any association or connection with an authoritarian regime. Do you think it's worth it to join the Communist Party of China? Let us know down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please go ahead and like and subscribe for more content such as this.